haircut.
What's up, everybody? We are live. We got a good card this Saturday. We got UFC Stockholm. We got the return of Gustafsson, Alexander the Mauler versus Lionheart Smith. And you know what, man? It's a pretty good card. A lot of people don't like it, but I get to wake up at 7 a.m. to watch it. I'm sure you get to watch it at 10 a.m. And Kel, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It was unfortunate I couldn't make that recap video we did. I know we just had this 1 week break, but yeah, man, that RDA versus Kevin Lee card was excellent. Felicia Spencer and Ian Heinisch coming through for Team Bro Picks. We're now 16-6 on our consensus bets, which is incredible, man. I won 13 units personally. It was my biggest net of the year so far. Up 35 units this year, and ready to keep that going, man. I got 2 killer plays of this card.
Yeah, man, I like the card. I mean, obviously, it's not like the best card, but I think it's pretty good. And whenever there's no UFC, it sucks. You know, it really does suck. Obviously, we had PFL, but I mean, you know, UFC is way better than that PFL. Is there anything you want to talk about last card before we dive right in?
Nah, man, just Felicia Spencer. That was incredible. People doubted us.
Yeah, that was awesome. I don't know if
and it's crazy because she's fighting Cyborg now. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, pre-tape I got Cyborg, but who knows, man? Maybe she'll get that done. That'd be pretty crazy if she beat Cyborg. If she beats Cyborg, then if she beats Cyborg, everyone's gonna have to be on that train, you know, eventually.
I mean, dude, if she beats Cyborg, that's crazy. She'd have to fight Amanda Nunes for the 145-pound title next.
Oh man, and then she'll beat
I don't think she's beating Cyborg, dude. That's a
tall
glass of water right there.
I got Cyborg pre-tape. So, yeah, let's do it, man. So, first fight of the night, I believe, I think it's the Alvarez fight, but we're just going to do the late replacement fight first because they don't have it on the battle order yet. So, we got Sergey Khandozhko versus, Rostem Akman? Rostem. And, yeah, this is a pretty close fight, honestly. I've been going back and forth with it, but I got to go with the Russian who has the more experience. You know, Sergey has a lot of experience. You know, he's pretty good striking. You know, he has 2 losses by sub, 1 by KO, but I just think he has, you know, more ways to win this fight. I think he has the more experience, and he's beaten some guys that, you know, pretty good records. And I don't know, man, just Akman, just, you know, obviously his short notice, he just fought, I think, pretty recently too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's undefeated, but I mean, he's been knocked out like 3 or 4 times, I think, in amateurs. He's pretty small for the weight class too. I think that Sergey is going to be a lot bigger in there. Akman kind of looks like a lightweight. So, and Sergey, like, I mean, I know his takedown defense and his ground game is probably his weakness, but I just don't think Akman's going to be able to take him down and control him. So I'm going to go with Khandozhko. I think he can get it done with a dominant decision win. But it's just one of those fights I'm just, you know, I don't want any part of that fight. Oh, one more thing. He has a pretty good right hand too. That might be his best weapon on the feet. So, what about you?
Yeah, man, I thought you accurately broke this fight down. Sergey, he's a really good striker. If there's any holes in his game to point out, it's the takedown defense and ground game. Rostem, Rostem on the feet, he's definitely not a good striker by any means, but he packs some power, man. Like I've seen him knock some guys stiff, and you know, he does have pretty good wrestling. He sets his takedowns up well. He's a strong grappler too, man. He knows what to do with guys when he gets them down, and that's definitely his path to victory here, in my opinion. He's got to shoot for his life. I think Sergey's got him beat on the feet at like very badly, actually. So I'm gonna go with Sergey to stuff the takedowns, and I'm gonna say he actually knocks out Rostem Akman here early. You know, this guy's coming in on 7 days' notice. He doesn't have anywhere near the experience. Level of competition he's fighting has been not good at all, and I think the Russian's just a couple levels above, man, and I think he's going to show out. So I'm going to go with Sergey via first-round KO, and actually think this is a really, really good DraftKings play, man, because this fight just got added into the slate, like, might have been today or yesterday, which, I mean, a lot of people, they make their lineups early, and there's a huge chance that this fight could be very low owned. And even on the Rostem side, man, I mean, both these guys are going to be super low owned. If Rostem wins, it's either going to be a wrestling heavy game plan or he's going to knock him out with that big power. So if he wins as a dog, that's going to that's probably going to win the first place prize in the big tournament. Sergey, on the other hand, he's 8,800 or something like that as well. So that's another reason to be super low owned, and he's probably going to get a finish if he wins. So I feel like this is a great fight to target on DraftKings either way, man. So yeah, I'm gonna have some Sergey there. I'm gonna go with him late first round knockout. So moving on to the next fight, man. This is my first play of 2 on this card. We got Joel Alvarez. He's -115, and he is taking on Danilo Belluardo, and he is -105. A lot of money has come in on the Italian, man. He was as high as +125 earlier in the week, and I took a 3-unit shot on him, man, at +120 odds to win 3.6 units. I like him in this fight everywhere, man. I mean, I really think he has Joel Alvarez covered in all aspects of the fight game. Man, I was just really, really underwhelmed with Alvarez in his UFC debut. I know he's taken on a killer in Damir Ismagulov. That guy is very, very good. And a lot of people will give Joel Alvarez credit for going all 3 rounds with the guy. Well, I mean, firstly, we can't just give him credit for surviving 3 rounds. I mean, he got torched the entire fight. And another thing, Damir Ismagulov, he's not really a finisher, man. He didn't finish Alex Gorgees either, which, dude, that guy Alex Gorgees, he's going to get finished here in the UFC within the next couple fights. He is just awful. And, you know, I mean, Joel Alvarez, he does have a good chin. His cardio is all right. He's a tough Spaniard, man. He's a very tough dude. But I think when it comes to the actual skill sets, I think Danilo, his wrestling is on another level. I think his striking, like, I think he's got way faster hands. I think he puts forth the pressure. I think he's got a lot more volume. I really see him piecing up Joel Alvarez on the feet if it stays there. But something tells me this fight is not going to be taking place on the feet for the majority. I think this will be a grapple heavy fight, man, because that's what Danilo does. He sets up those takedowns with the strikes. You know, he comes forward, throws combos, and then takes guys down, and he knows exactly what to do when he gets them there, man. He's a legit brown belt. This isn't like a guy that Joel Alvarez was fighting on the AFL scene in Spain, which, I mean, yikes. That first fight against Damir Ismagulov, I think that was like his first fight outside of the Spain regional scene in like years and years. And the one before that, he fought in like a Russian scene, which and he fought like a decent Russian guy, and that Russian guy just absolutely blew him out of the water. So the only 2 times Joel Alvarez has fought someone who isn't a complete bum, I mean, he got dominated. Now, Danilo, on the other hand, he had some losses early in his career. He took his bumps, but hey, he's only a 24-year-old kid right now. I think there's going to be a lot of improvements out of him. I know he did a good portion of this camp, and even before that with Team Alpha Male, working on his wrestling and submission defense as well. I mean, I just think, in my opinion, Joe Alvarez, like most fights, he's kind of triangle or bust, man. Like he does have very long limbs, and he's sneaky with that triangle. I just think Danilo is so much better than those guys he's been pulling that off against, and I think he's going to do all the right things to do to stay away from that triangle. I see him dominating Joel Alvarez on the mat the whole entire fight. See him landing some of that ground and pound, and I'm not going to be surprised if he lands a arm triangle choke on Joel Alvarez. So I'm going to go with Danilo Belluardo here. I'm going to say 2nd round submission. I probably missed a shit ton of my points. Yeah, one of them, I mean, like I said, he's out there training with Team Alpha Male. He's doing all the right things in his career. He's surrounding himself with the right people, going and getting work in the USA while Joel Alvarez is still training with the mariachi band in Spain, man. Like, it's a huge difference. I just see much higher career projections for Danilo Belluardo, and I don't see Joel Alvarez winning a UFC fight, man. I don't know about you, but yikes, he's not very good. So I got Danilo wherever it goes, but I'll say 2nd round arm triangle choke.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a close fight, man. In my opinion, I've been going back and forth in this fight. Obviously, I hope you win because I'm not going to be playing it, and you got a good line on the dog. Now the line kind of flipped. I think Alvarez is probably going to hit dog money pretty soon. Obviously, Alvarez got dominated in his first fight with Damir, but Damir is a pretty good fighter. I mean, you got to show him a little credit. You know, I was surprised that he lasted all 3 rounds because he's been knocked out in the past. I think he's the more durable fighter here. The thing is, I don't think he's going to go out there and hurt Belluardo on the feet. Belluardo's been knocked out 3 times, but Alvarez isn't much of a striker unless the striking really improved with the time off. But I do think Belluardo has the better striking. I think on the mat, which is where it gets interesting, I think Belluardo has the better wrestling. But I mean, even though Alvarez, I mean, they both have been fighting a bunch of cans, but you can't ignore that Alvarez has 14 15 wins by sub. So if it hits the mat, Belluardo needs to really be, aware of Joel's, game off his back, because he has really good jiu-jitsu, man. And I know that, we're in some chats on Twitter, and, you've been talking some crap saying that Alvarez hasn't fought anybody, but they both haven't really. Like, Belluardo just beat a 15-7 guy, and Alvarez is going out there and beating a 9-2 guy, or 9-1 guy at the time, I think. So let's be honest, they both haven't fought anyone. They both have fought a lot of cans. But I just think I don't know, man. I've been going back and forth in this fight. I don't think Alvarez is that good at all. I really don't. I think he's one of the worst guys at 55, but I don't think Belluardo is that good either. But hey, Belluardo might prove me wrong. There are some good Italians out there. There are also some bad Italians out there, like Carlo Pedasoli. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think Belluardo has the better striking. I think he has the better wrestling, but I think Alvarez has the better chin, and I think Alvarez has the better jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to go with Alvarez by a split decision win, maybe a late sub, but I hope Italy gets it done for you. And it's just a fight I want no part of because I don't have a good read on it at all. But you got a good line, man, on the dog, so we'll see what happens. If Belluardo goes out there and makes it, look easy money, I'll be giving you a shout out for sure. So next fight, we got a really good fight. We got this is one of my favorite fights tonight. We got Darko Stosic versus Devin the Jobber Clark. And yeah, man, I got my first play of the night. I put 4 units on Darko plus 100. I'm pretty surprised he hit plus 105. It is what it is. He opened at minus 265, so it's pretty crazy. I actually think he should be around that, though. The reason why I say it's pretty crazy is because how the hell is he's hit plus money? Why are people betting Devin Clark? I don't get it. Like, I just don't think Devin Clark's that good. I think he's at the bottom of the division, in my opinion. Yeah, he has good grappling, but his cardio is not that good. His chin is a huge issue. I think he's way too small for 205. Like, he has big legs, but to be honest, he should be fighting at middleweight. He's fought at middleweight in the past. He probably just doesn't want to cut the extra weight. But he's not a light heavyweight. And look at Darko. Darko's a huge light heavyweight. I mean, what is he, the prodigy of Mirko Cro Cop? Like, obviously, he hasn't fought the best competition. I mean, he just beat Jeremy Kimper, who's not in the UFC anymore. So I will say that Devin Clark has fought the better competition. But the Mike Rodriguez win, like, he was getting his ass kicked on the feet. And I think that was, Mike Rodriguez was kind of green at the time. Obviously, we saw what he did last fight, and I think he's going to go out there and smoke Vellante. And I like Mike Rodriguez. I think he's going to win a lot of fights in the UFC. But I think Darko would have beat Mike Rodriguez, too. If they fight right now, I still got Darko over him. So I just think, Devin Clark took him down. And that he won the fight with his grappling, but on the feet, he's getting his ass kicked. And Darko has really good takedown defense. That's the thing. Like, we haven't really seen him, man, on the ground, and he can stuff. Like, look at what he did with Kimmel. Kimmel went for a takedown. Darko kind of just like shoved him off and threw him in the ground and went on top and finished him with TKO. So I think Darko is better on the feet. I think he has a better gassing. I think he's more durable. Devin Clark, yeah, he dropped Rakic twice in the first round, but we'll be talking about Rakic in a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, I was surprised. I think a lot of people are betting Devin Clark because he dropped Rakic twice, to be honest. I mean, like, what's Clark's, like, what is he famous for in the UFC? Like, he got knocked out against Nicholson. He got knocked out against Rakic. I mean, he beat Mike Rodriguez, who beat Jay Collier, who does Jay Collier even fight anymore? Like, I think he's, I'm pretty sure he popped or something, but Jay Collier is terrible, man. Devin Clark's just really hard to trust. Like, the thing is, he comes out really strong in the first round. So obviously, like, the first round is definitely, I'm going to be a little nervous. But after the first round, I just think Darko's going to take over. I've seen some people on Twitter say that reverse. I think that they say, oh, Darko's going to come out heavy in the first round. Clark's going to take over. Clark gasses, I feel like, in every fight, man. It's really bad. And Darko's, he's been in a decision before. He has very good weight kicks. He has a very good right hand. He's a heavy hitter on the feet, man. And I think a lot of people act like, Devin Clark's just going to go out there and, take this guy down at will. I don't think so, man. I think Darko has good takedown defense. Darko only has, one loss. He's 13-1. His one loss is against this guy who's like 24-3-1, who's a really good fighter. That guy should definitely be in the UFC, in my opinion. And I don't know if you watched that fight, but that was like a brawl. They were going back and forth for a couple minutes, and Darko actually hurt that guy in the feet. So I got to go with Darko here. I just don't think Devin Clark's that good. I think his chin's terrible. I think he has bad cardio. He's outmatched in this fight. I got Darko by a first-round knockout. I think he's going to really connect with that right hand after some weight kicks. And one more thing about the weight kicks. shout out to diehard MMA Clint because he actually said on his podcast, he did not like the leg kicks that Rakic, Rakic had some really good leg kicks against Clark. Clark did not like it, man, at all. So, got to do a shout out to him. But yeah, I got Darko all day in this fight. What about you?
Man, you killed that breakdown. I definitely agree with you. I got Darko Stosic by knockout here, man. This is a great fight for him. You pretty much hit all the points, man, perfectly. I feel like Dana White has some kind of personal vendetta against Devin Clark, just because he was one of the first guys he brought on for Dana White looking for a fight. Dana White's trying to make that the big thing, and then he comes out and he's one of the most boring fighters in the UFC, in my opinion, man. I mean, the dude's got no personality either. His personality matches his fight style perfectly. It's not the most entertaining thing in the world, man. And now, you look at this lineup that he's been given. It's not even just the Rakic fight. He got Rakic. Rakic was like a -600 favorite there. Then they paired him up with Abdul Karim Edilov, who firstly, he just got cut from the UFC. I think it was something USADA related, but Abdul Karim Edilov would have been a -600 in that fight as well, between me and you. That dude is a savage. And then they tried to match him up in Russia against Ivan Shurkatov, whatever that guy's name is. Ivan Shurkatov, I think he was I want to say he was around a -170 favorite when that fight fell through. But dude, in my opinion, Ivan should have been -300 range there. I was super, super confident, probably even more confident than I am for this one, just because Ivan, that dude Ivan had 7 respectable vets under his belt, man, and a lot of them at heavyweight. Now we got Darko here, man, who, I'm not quite as confident as I would be in Abdul Karim Edilov or Ivan Shurkatov, but I definitely think this dude Darko has more than enough skills to take out Devin Clark here. He has a really strong judo background. He's got those strong judo hips. I feel like he absolutely embarrassed Jeremy Kimball when Kimball went for a takedown. He did literally the most impressive possible thing you could do to a takedown attempt, and that's reverse it into your own takedown and then bash the dude's skull in, and that's exactly what he did. Now, I don't think he's going to embarrass Devin Clark like that. I just feel like in that first round, Devin Clark's going to be shooting for his life, and Darko, he's gonna defend those takedowns. Devin Clark is going to be the guy who gets tired first, and Darko is going to land fist to chin. And we know about that chin, man. It's not the most durable in the world. So, Justin, I think you have a great bet. I might join you. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go with Darko Stosic here I'm going to go with a early second round KO, vicious KO. So
two more things I want to mention. Yeah, real quick. One, he's on a 9-5 winning streak, man. Just a lot of people, man, are just saying that, oh, he hasn't fought anybody and stuff. All the guys that Devin Clark's beaten, Darko would beat as well. Who is Devin Clark beaten besides Mike Rodriguez, who was green at the time? Josh Stansberry, come on, that guy's so bad, dude, terrible, man. And then I don't know, man, just the whole Nicholson thing, you're going out there and getting knocked out against Alex Nicholson. That's embarrassing in my opinion. Also, Darko has really good pressure, number 2, and number 3. The guy that I told you he lost to 24-3 and 1, that was in 2014, man. So Darko's a really good fighter. I think he's gonna have I think he's gonna win a lot of fights in UFC, and I think actually he's better than I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I think he's better than Ivan, the guy that was supposed to fight Devin Clark. And Devin Clark has yeah, I think so. I do. I really do. I think Ivan would have beat Devin Clark for sure, but I think Darko's a little better than him.
Okay.
So
yeah, on this next one?
Let's do it. Call it.
All right, man. We're excited about this one. We got the people's main event here, bro. We got Bia Malecki. She's -120. She is the Swedish fighter fighting in Sweden. So who knows? That could be the reason for this heavy line movement. And then we got Duda or Eduarda Santana +100. Bia Malecki was like a +175 underdog, bro. And
yeah,
in my opinion, whoever hit that +150 and higher range, even though you're betting a 1-0 fighter, dude, I wholly support that. That was a sharp play in my opinion, man. I like Bia Malecki in this fight. Firstly, she's a lot bigger. Duda Santana hasn't fought in a couple of years. In my opinion, you don't really have to go further than Instagram research to see which fighter is in much better shape. Let's just put it that way. And not only that, man, like B for like a 145-pound woman, most of them have some power in their punches, especially if they are a striker. B Malecki, like she is technical and she does have that extensive Muay Thai background, but boy, she kind of has a case of pillow fists, in my opinion, which is kind of one of the reasons why I'm kind of worried about picking her. But I am still gonna pick her in this fight, man. I think on the feet she's got Duda Santana beat pretty bad. I feel like she should probably go out there and pick her apart. If there's a wrinkle in her game, it's definitely her ground game. And due to Santana, I've seen her, and she's got 3 fights. There's not a whole lot to watch, but I did see her land 1 takedown. I mean, we're talking about against a bum, but I don't know, just such sloppiness. And she's yikes. This fight is yikes. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, I was just joking when I said we got the people's main event. It's low level. Let's just put it that way, man. B Malecki, she's green, but I don't know. I feel like maybe there's some potential there. She has a higher ceiling than Duda Santana, so I'm gonna pick her for that reason. Not only that, it's in Sweden. It's a women's fight. It's probably gonna go to decision, and they're gonna give the Swede the nod in Sweden. So B Malecki, I'm gonna say she wins a clean cut 30-27 decision. And actually, I do think she's a great DraftKings play because she's 7,600 on DraftKings. DraftKings decided to release those salaries extremely early, like the earliest they ever done before. Obviously, it's because of the week off, but dude, a lot of money is coming on B Malecki. She's a minus 120 favorite, sitting at 7,600 on DK. So, man, she's going to be a play for me on there. Who do you got, Justin?
Yeah, I do like Bea here as well. Obviously, it's kind of hard to talk about this fight because Bea's 1-1, Santana's 3-0. They're both really green, Bea actually impressed me a little bit on top, she hurt Letson bad. I mean, look at Letson's face after the fight. It was brutalized, man. And she's really tough to, like, take down, too, I feel like, too. But on the feet, dude, she's really technical, man. You watch Santana's last fight, dude. She, like, was getting wobbled all over the place. She's slow. Like, she's a brawler, but, like, she's just, like, I don't know. She's in better shape now, but I just think Bea is more durable. I think Bea has way more tools in the feet. I think she's more technical. Bea has a really good chin. I think Cowboy, Santana has a good chin, but I think Bea is going to crack her, and I think Bea is going to get her out of there. I really do. I'm not going to bet this fight. Obviously, I can't now because she's minus 120. She was plus 150, plus 160. Yeah, I was actually thinking about betting her then, but I didn't. But I will have her on DraftKings, and I think Bea is going to get a finish here. I really do. So I got Bea I got a second round TKO. I think she's going to hurt her on the feet with the right hand, get her out of there, and get a TKO. So let's see. What is the next fight?
Frank the Tank.
Oh, man. We got Frank the Tank versus Nick Hein. And this is a good fight. Actually, I was actually really considering playing Camacho. But I'm going to pass, but I do think he's going to win the fight, man. He's like 1-3 in the UFC, but let's be honest. He should be 2-2. He should be 2-2. He beat Dober, in my opinion. I think he beat Dober with the grappling. He won the first round. Second round, I think he lost. The third round, I thought he won. Damn, like that trip that he hit, the judo trip, like he hit that like 4 or 5 times. It was nice. And on top, he was controlling Dober, man. Obviously, Dober doesn't have the best takedown defense, but Camacho should be fighting at 55. He's so small for 170. Like, I think he just didn't want to cut that weight, but now he's, full-time training at Oyama in LA and in SoCal, and he's on a diet now. He's finally like taking it seriously, and I think 55 is definitely in the weight class. Obviously, he slows down, but in the first round, man, he's a monster, dude. Like, yeah, Jeff Neal, we know he's a really good fighter, top 10 guy, top 5 guy in the future. He wasn't ready for him, but at 55, now he's fighting the guy Nick Hein, who, in my opinion, is slowly declining. He has a really good record, but you watch his last couple of fights. We don't even need to talk about the Ramos fight, but the fight with Damir, that wasn't a split. Damir totally won that fight, and he just looked slow out there. He got hurt in the third round. He doesn't really have any power. Like, when's the last time he finished anything? It was, a long time ago, man. I think Camacho has the more power here. I think Nick Hein might be more technical, but I think Camacho has more power. I think Camacho comes out like a beast in the first round. I think Camacho could actually take him down as well. Obviously, if the fight goes late and it goes 3 rounds, to get really interesting in because Nick Hein, probably has the better cardio. I think he probably has the better chin than Camacho, but Camacho's a very tough guy. Like, Camacho gets hurt in so many fights, but he has a lot of heart. He really does. This isn't Jeff Neal fighting him. It's, Nick Hein, who's on the decline. He's really old. Camacho needs this fighter. He's going to get cut. I like when fighters are back against the wall, and I think Camacho has a wrestling advantage. I think he has more power. I think he's going to win a clear-cut decision here. It wouldn't surprise me if he got a finish at all, but I do think Camacho's going to win the first and second round, maybe slow in the third, and we could see a split though because obviously they're going to favor the European guy, but yeah, I got Camacho here. I think he wins a 29-28 decision, but I'll be passing. What about you?
Yeah, man. So there's 2 spots left on this card that I would have a bet on if I have another. Darko is one, and this fight's the other, man. I agree with you. I really like Frank Camacho in this fight. I think he should be a bigger favorite. If you got him at any kind of plus money, congrats to you. That's a great play. Hopefully it gets back there so I can put a couple of units on it. But man, basically, I just feel like this is kind of an easy fight to call, in my opinion, dude. Like, I feel like both guys have good enough takedown defense, but not good enough offensive wrestling to where I don't think either guy can take the other down. I think this is going to stay on the feet. And dude, in my opinion, Frank Camacho, he's so much more active. He comes forward. His punches are going to have so much more pop behind him. I feel like if this goes 15 minutes, this is just going to be him all day long. And like you mentioned, the camp change to Oyama, Hein. It just feels like Hein's on the decline, bro. Let's call it like it is. He absolutely is. He's 36 years old. I feel like he was never fully invested in the fight game to begin with. He's always been one of those kind of inactive guys with, he's a firefighter too, a full-time firefighter. I know we can say cop. He's a cop, I believe.
Yeah.
You could say the same about Stipe. He's the champ and everything, but I don't know, man. I just feel like Camacho. There's a lot more momentum with him, in my opinion. He's been putting on some fights, dude. Camacho, Frank the Tank is one of my favorite guys to watch. I just feel like he has Hein beat here on the feet. Like Hein, obviously, like you mentioned, he probably is more technical, and I feel like he is gonna counter a lot of Camacho's bombs, but I feel like Camacho is probably going to land 3 or 4 for every one counter Nick Hein lands, and Hein's going to be on his back foot the whole time. Camacho is going to be pressuring, dude. Like, the judges are going to be all over him, and I don't see this fight hitting the mat. Like, I don't see any tricky shit happening here. I think this is a clear-cut one to call. So, Frank the Tank, I'm going to say he wins a 30-27 decision. I don't know how I feel about DraftKings just because I don't think he gets the finish, but he's only like 8,000, so we'll see with that. But definitely for a bet, like I like him to get the win. So Frank the Tank, 30-27 decision.
One more thing is that I think with the whole camp switch to Yama, I think we're going to see him use his grappling a lot more. His grappling is actually really good. Like, the thing is, he just doesn't use it a lot. But when he used it against Dilbert, like, took him down at will. I think he's going to use that trip here, and I really do. I think he definitely has the wrestling advantage. He has really good jiu-jitsu. Like, he's a black belt. Like, we don't see it, Like, he's a brawler. He's probably going to brawl. That's Camacho. But I have a feeling we're going to see a game plan here because if he loses this fight, he's getting cut, 100% sure.
Well, I do think Nick Hein has pretty good takedown defense. He's got a judo background of his own. I don't know. We'll see. You could be right. We'll see.
Camacho's a lot bigger, man. Camacho's going to be the bigger fighter.
He's a lot younger. He's got more energy in him. I think the further it goes, I think Camacho actually might have the better gas tank as it goes, if we're being honest.
The thing is, like, Camacho gasses a lot, but like he has a lot of heart.
That's because he throws everything into all his punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good fight, but yeah, we both got Camacho.
So moving on to the next one, man. This is a great one that has had a lot of underdog money pour in. We got Leonardo Santos -200. He's taken on Stevie Braveheart Ray +170. Leo Santos was as high as -270 at one point, and it's came back down to around where it opened, -190, -200 range. Man, this is a good fight. It's nice to see Leo Santos back. I'm a huge fan of that guy. I mean, finishes over Tony Martin and Kevin Lee, Adriano Martins. Now, that Adriano Martins fight, man, like, yikes. In my opinion, that was actually a pretty smart game plan by Leonardo Santos, in my opinion. Like, solid, man. I mean, he's smart. He just picked him perfectly. He picked his shots perfectly, did his thing. Thought he won the first and second round clearly. So props to him. And I bet Martins there as like -400. I'm pretty sure that's like one of the biggest underdog losses or biggest favorite losses of the year that year. Because Martins was coming off the Makhachev win, I want to say. Speaking of Martins, dude, I mean, I thought that dude Adriano Martins was gonna like make waves and be like top 15 in the UFC for a long time, bro. And now he's gone. I guess that might just because of that poor performance there, losing in that kind of fight. But I don't know, yikes. But yeah, Leo Santos is proven, bro. Like I know he's I believe he's 40 years old now. Like he's pretty old, but he's very proven. I mean, he doesn't fight like he's 40 years old. Like he's young in the fight game. He started at a late age. My opinion, in that Martins and Kevin Lee and Tony Martin fight, that's probably when he was in his prime. Now, being off a few years now, is he still in his prime? I mean, my guess is he's probably not in his prime, man. And I feel like on the feet, I know Leo's got some power and he's got great counter shots and he is a sharp boxer for sure. But I kind of feel like Stevie, he pressures forward and he's going to land the bigger shots, more shots. Problem is, can he keep it on the feet? And I'm actually going to say no. I'm going to go with the favorite here. I think Leonardo Santos at one point, he's going to drop him and or land a takedown. He's going to get it down to the mat. And I mean, dude, Stevie Ray, in my opinion, and I've actually been harsh on Stevie Ray in the past. I do not think that highly of him. And I do think if it hits the mat, Leo Santos is going to sub him. And I'm picking that to happen. I just feel like I agree with the underdog money that's been coming in on Stevie Ray. And I think even at the current price, he's still live. The problem is he's just got to keep it on the feet, man, because Leo Santos is literally one of the highest level BJJ players in the UFC. So I'm going to go with the very tricky, opportunistic Leo Santos to get Stevie onto the ground at one point and submit him. So I'm going to say second or third round submission. As far as a bet, I think the value's on Stevie. As far as DraftKings, I feel like you can play both guys because if Stevie wins as an underdog, that's a great play. And if Leo wins, it's probably going to be a submission. So great fight. Leo Santos, second round guillotine.
Yeah, this is a really good fight. Definitely, I've been going back and forth in this one as well. The thing is, like, Santos, like, just hasn't fought in a long time, man. It's only, like, hasn't fought in, like, 3 or 4 years. He didn't look good in his last fight. Yeah, he's beaten the better guys and beat Kevin Lee. I mean, who else has he beaten? Kevin Lee, Tony Martin. He's beaten some really good guys, but the fight game, is harsh, man. It could definitely catch you up, and he hasn't fought in a long time. Obviously, I do think he has a better grappling. He probably has more power on the feet, but Stevie Ray is pretty technical on the feet. He's a good striker. He's really fast. He's 6-3 in the UFC. He lost to Felder, who's top 15 guy. He's a tough guy too. I mean, he has a good chin. I know he's been finished before, and yeah, he's been finished like 5 times on the mat. But I think Santos, I actually think he has to get this fight to the mat. I think he has more power on the feet, but I think Stevie Ray could actually outstrike and win a decision. So it's a really close fight. Like, I mean, when it first came out, like, I think me and you were talking about it. Like, I was like, yeah, Santos easy money. But then I looked into it more. I'm like, yeah, Ray actually is live here, man. So I do think Ray is live, but I think Santos going to get it to the mat and hand Ray his 6th submission loss. So I'm going to go Santos by submission as well, but I think Ray's live. So next fight, we got Tanya Evinger versus Nina Lansberg, and the line's pretty crazy. I do think that Tanya should probably be like around minus 200-ish. Obviously, she's on a 2-fight losing streak against 2 really good fighters in Cyborg and Aspen Ladd. Lansberg's is not good at all, man. I think this is her last fight in UFC. She's a grinder, man. She just stalls against the fence, and her striking is not that good. And her nickname's like that Elbow Queen. Like, why? Like, she's just not a good fighter at all, man. And Evinger, man, I feel like he's gonna take her down to will. I mean, you saw Kundskaya take down Lansberg and win a decision. I think Evinger is better than Kundskaya and has better grappling. I mean, Evinger tapped her out. I mean, I know the first fight was really controversial. Kind of Kundskaya was holding on the fence, but you saw the second fight. I mean, Tanya made quick work of that fight. Obviously, MMA map doesn't mean shit, but I just think Evinger's a better fighter than Kundskaya, has better grappling. And she's relentless. I actually think she's going to go out there and make this look pretty easy, So I'm going to go with Evinger. I think she's going to go out there and win a decision. I know that she has a lot of finishes and her ground pound's really good, but something just tells me that, I don't know, Lena Lansberg might, be able to get back up and on the feet, I don't know. Like, who's better on the feet? Like, the thing is, I think Evinger is definitely way better on the mat. Has probably the better chin on the feet. I don't know, man. Evinger really doesn't have any striking. Lansberg doesn't either. But I just don't think there's going to be a finish in this fight. So I'm going to go with Evinger with like a 30-27, maybe 29-28. But yeah, I'm not playing it. What about you?
Man, I think Tanya rolls here, dude, and I didn't really understand the money on her that was coming in, but around when she was like, as soon as she reached the -200s, I'm like, oh shit, dude, I gotta look into this because in these women's fights when you get big underdogs, I mean they tend to hit a lot. So yeah, I look into it, and Tanya Evinger should definitely get the win here, man. I mean, we forget. Well, I don't right now. I'm sure some people do. We forget where Tanya Evinger once stood in the women's bantamweight division. Now, I know some of her best work is done in Invicta, which is probably why it's overlooked. But dang, dude, Tanya Evinger has a hell of a record and a resume on her. I mean, all these wins over Irene Aldana, Pani Kinziad, who we saw in the UFC, Cindy Dandois, who we saw in the UFC, obviously Yana Kunitskaya, who is now in the UFC. And, it just happened that Tanya Evinger ran into two absolute killers in her last fight, in Chris Cyborg and Aspen Ladd. And, hey, I mean, she went longer with Cyborg than a lot of the other girls did. And the Aspen Ladd one. I mean, in my opinion, Aspen Ladd is probably the best prospect in that division. And hot take, I got Aspen Ladd to actually smash Jermaine Durandamy. That fight got made today. Me and Justin and some other guys had some fun debates on that. But yeah, dude, I think the world of Aspen Ladd. So I don't hold that against Tanya Evinger at all. I think Evinger's fucking better everywhere here, dude. She's got better jiu-jitsu. She's so much better on the feet. Lena Lansberg, I mean, she's really trash, dude. I mean, honestly, her best work is in the clinch when she's holding chicks up against the fence, landing the short shots, stalling time. Like, geez, dude, she's really awful. And in my opinion, like, I know both these girls have been around for a long time, and they're both 37, I want to say. I feel like Tanya has a lot left in the tank, man. So, geez, if anything, I think Tanya Evinger should be a bigger favorite here. And I definitely think she's probably my second most confident pick on this card, to be honest. Like, she's up there, and I'm definitely going to have a lot of her in DraftKings. She's going to score a lot of points, dude. I feel like she lands takedowns here and just lands a lot of ground and pound and probably wrap something up, some advances. So give me all the Tanya Evinger in DraftKings here, man. I feel like she kills it. So I'll say second round armbar. So moving on to the next fight, we got a fun one here. This is to start off the main card. We got the little Teymur, Daniel Teymur. He's a plus 120 or underdog. A lot of money's been coming on little Teymur, and Sung Bin Jo is now a minus 140 favorite. I like the Korean here, man. I like the newcomer. Daniel Teymur has been very, very unimpressive in my opinion. Like, the dude's got power for sure. Like, that's literally his best attribute, is the dude can knock your head off. Like, he's got it. He's a short, stocky. I mean, that's what he does. He knocks people the fuck out. This Korean dude, like, I watched a lot of his fights actually, and I mean, he can take a shot. He can give a shot. He's very entertaining. I think this fight definitely has a fight of the night written all over it. I just feel like Sung Bin Jo, his cardio is a lot better. He throws more volume, and feel like Teymur's probably going to gas out going for the heavy shots like normal, man. I mean, we saw that Danny Henry fight. Like, yikes, dude. Like, fucking yikes. That was bad. Yeah, I got the Korean, man. Not much to say about this fight, but I feel like he probably TKOs him late. I'll say third round TKO for the Korean Sung Bin Jo.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are betting Taymur. Like, honestly, I don't understand why he's getting another fight. He's 0-3 in UFC. He's definitely one of the worst fighters. If he fought Austin Arnett, like, I'd have to flip a coin, really. This guy has no gas tank at all. He's a first rounder bust. He hasn't he hasn't gotten a finish in a long time. Like, obviously, these three guys are pretty good fighters. And Arce, good fighter. Henry, I was a little, wrong about him. I don't think he's whatever. And then Fishgold, we'll be talking about him later. But I mean, in the first round, man, Teymur throws a lot of key. I mean, he has good striking. He comes forward, but I mean, he's not really that technical. He has a lot of power. He throws bombs, but I mean, he gasses his chin like he's never been finished, but you know he's a little chinny. And this guy Joe, I mean, he's so much bigger than him. He's so much more technical than him. Um, is Joe going to shoot? Probably not. Joe's a striker. Teymur like has no ground game at all, so I highly doubt that Teymur's going to go out there and try to get him down. So the Joe guy fought a guy that was 9-4 last fight, and I guess that guy was like kind of like the prodigy of Korean Zombie. And it's funny because Korean Zombie actually trained with Joe. And Joe was losing in that fight, and he came back and finished him in the 4th round. Joe is a dude. He has good cardio, like you said, but he's tough. He has a good chin. He was losing that fight in a brawl. They were going at it back and forth, and they finished in the 4th round. A guy like Teymur, come on. Teymur doesn't even have cardio in the 2nd round, man. So, I mean, the size advantage in this fight, let's be honest. Teymur's a bantamweight. He should be not fighting at featherweight. He's fighting a guy in Joe who looks like a lightweight, dude. I think Joe's going to absolutely starch him on the feet. I think Teymur's getting his walking papers. Everyone always jokes about it, but, you know, David Teymur is the good Teymur, and Daniel Teymur is the terrible Teymur. He sucks. 0-3 in UFC. Blew his wad against Henry and gassed out completely. He looked so bad against Arce. He didn't even, like, throw anything. And then against Fishgold, we're talking about a little bit. I mean, Fishgold took him down pretty easily. And then, I mean, Teymur, did Teymur even hurt him on the feet? I don't think so. You know, Teymur just blew his wad again. And then the 2nd round got tapped out. This guy has no ground game at all, and he slows down. His gassing is terrible, dude. The fact that people like that, like I even like and respect, are betting Teymur here, like, come on, man. Joe's gonna go out there and starch him. I mean, they're giving Joe a guy in Teymur because they're high on Joe. The guy is, you know, hasn't fought in a while, but he's a good prospect. He's 9-0. He's 26. He's a Korean, man. I mean, he has really good knees to the body. He's long. Like I mentioned, he's huge, good pressure. He's a KO artist, man. He's good everywhere, man, honestly. So I got Joe by a 1st-round KO. I think he's going to make it look easy, and Teymur's going to, you know, keep getting his walking papers. And, yeah, I will be betting on him if his line gets a little better. So next fight, we had a good fight here. We got Damir Hadzovich versus Christos Giagos. And we both have big plays on Damir. I have 6 units on Damir. I have him parlayed with Ziam Zonan, who fights next week. 3 units at plus 120. Kind of messed up that line a little bit. And then I also have Damir at minus 175, 3 units to win 1.7, I think 2. Let me check real quick. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, he was minus 145 at one point, and you got him at that line, and I thought he was going to get better, but I messed up. Anyways, back on the matchup. Yeah, I don't know why people out there are saying that Giagos has a chance here. He doesn't. Giagos is so bad. Like, he's I think he's one of the worst guys, 155. He looks so bad against Hirota. Like, Hirota is like at the bottom of the division. The guy lost to Ross Pearson. The guy like went to a draw with Teruto. Let's be honest, Teruto got robbed. He won that fight. Hirota's trash, and Giagos gassed out so bad trying to get him down. He took him down multiple times. But in that 3rd round, oh my god, like. People, I know you bet Giagos, and a lot of people did, but dude, that was scary, dude. Giagos, like, literally almost died in that 3rd round. His cardio, bro, is not that good. I heard people saying that Giagos is better grappling than Damir. Like, get out of here. Damir just went out there, took down Polo Reyes pretty easily and got the finish. If Damir takes down Giagos, it's over. Giagos is not good enough. He's going to get finished on the mat, I'm telling you right now. And on the feet, it's a mismatch, in my opinion. Damir is so much more technical. He has a jab. Dude, his jab is probably going to hurt Giagos in the feet. Giagos' chinny, in my opinion. His cardio is not good. I just don't see many ways to win in this fight. I don't like. Where is he better than Damir in this fight? I don't know. I really don't. Damir's definitely more durable. He's a better striker. He has more power. He's way more technical. Very good right hand. Who's Giagos beaten? I mean, Damir's, you know, like beating some pretty good guys. I mean, he smoked Marcin Held with that in that 3rd round, and a lot of people would have gave up. I mean, he took him down about 3 or 4 times, and his cardio still looked fresh, and he went out there and knocked him out that knee. Yes, he lost to Alan Patrice, but you know, he's definitely, you know, improved a lot since then. And then he's on a 2-fight win streak. That Hein fight, like, he looked really good in that fight. That was not a split. And he went out there and just smoked Polo Reyes. So I think Damir has more ways to win this fight. I don't know why people think Giagos is going to take this guy down at will. Even if Giagos gets him down, he's just going to get more tired. His gas tank's terrible, man. He's not going to go out there and take him down and tap him out. Like, come on, this isn't, you know, Marcin Held. Marcin Held could even get him out of there. Patrice took him down multiple times. He didn't get him out of there. Damir's a warrior, man. And I just think Damir wins his fight wherever the fight goes. I really do. I think Giagos is trash, and I think it's I think the UFC is giving Damir a cupcake of a fight. So I got Damir Hadzovich all day in this fight. I think he's going to go out there and really take it to Giagos, and I think he's going to get it done in under 2 minutes. So I got Damir with the first round KO.
Man, you wanna hear a funny stat on this one?
What's the stat?
So Christos Giagos, he made his UFC debut in 2014. Damir Hadzovich made his UFC debut 2016. He already has more UFC wins than Giagos, and obviously the reason behind that, Christos Giagos has already been cut from the UFC before, man, and I mean that's the kind of thinking the UFC has on this guy, man, that he's never really going to go anywhere, and I agree with that. Christos is, you know, and I've actually defended Christos a lot more than most people in the past, especially in that little chat we have. Like he's solid everywhere. He's just not great anywhere. He's just a serviceable journeyman that should probably be testing prospects on the LFA scene, in my opinion. And
where is he better in this matchup than Damir?
I feel like he's probably the better pure wrestler. Not by much. It's not some huge advantage. I mean, we saw the improvements Damir has made, but when it comes to pure wrestling, I feel like he might be a little stronger there. But I don't think it's going to make a difference at all because, I mean, I feel like it's a huge mismatch on the feet. I feel like Damir's advantage there is just going to make it really, really hard for Giagos to even think about setting up those takedowns in the first place, man. I think if anyone lands takedowns here, it's probably going to be Damir. I mean, if Giagos shoots takedowns, they're not going to be set up well. They're gonna look a little sloppy, and he's probably gonna gas out from it. Like you said, he has bad cardio, and dude, you didn't even bring it up, man. He broke his jaw in January. Like the dude broke his jaw in training in January, and he's coming back 4 months later. That's a gigantic red flag against a power puncher. My boy, the Bosnian bomber Damir Hadzovich. That last fight against Polo Reyes. So I went huge on Damir there. I had 3.5 units on him at, I believe it was plus 100 odds, I want to say. So
I bet him too. Yeah. I bet him like a plus 140 or something like that.
Man, he came through big. Yeah, it might have been around that big, but yeah, he came through for us, man, in the way that we didn't think. Like my thought process on that Polo fight, and I'm sure many people's thought process was, all right, these guys are going to stand and trade. Damir's probably slightly sharper. Damir probably has a slightly better chin, and he's just going to knock Polo out after a first round war. And dude, he showed how serious he is taking his wrestling game. He went from being a guy kind of known as F grade takedown defense to going out there and beating really good UFC fighters via wrestling. Like that, I mean, that's a sign of a future top 15 guy, in my opinion. Just the way he's making improvements, the way he's looking sharper and sharper in the octagon. And dude, by the way, those 2 UFC losses were incredibly tough. Like you're talking about a UFC debut. I believe it might have been on short notice against Mirbek Tyson.
I think it was,
probably the one of the best strikers in the division, if not the UFC. And then Alan Patrick, I mean, at that point in Damir's career, what's the hole in his game? What's going to be the toughest stylistic matchup for him? It's going to be an extremely strong grappler. And Patrick got the job done. He was the better man that night. If Alan Patrick and Damir Hadzovich rematch today, I probably line Damir around a minus 250 favorite there. He probably smokes Patrick. And here, man, I just feel like Giagos, he's outgunned on the feet too badly. I feel like Damir has the skills to stuff the takedowns. Giagos will slow quicker, and Damir will start to pick him apart and put him away. So I'm going to go with Damir Hadzovich via a second round KO. And I got 4 units on him, man. I got 2 units at minus 145, and I got 2 units at minus 175. So let's fucking go. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, like, maybe he might get like 1 takedown on Damir, but I won't be surprised if Damir gets him down either. But he's not going to be able to go out there and just control him for a long period of time. Like Damir's going to get back up, So Damir's a stronger fighter too. I just do you see Giagos controlling him on the mat? I really don't. And he's going to get even more tired. You trying to take him down. Damir's get-up game's good. He has good takedown defense. He's improved a lot. And Damir's the bigger fighter too. And on the feet, it's a mismatch. Giagos, he's a technical fighter, but he's not in the same ballpark as Damir, I think.
Yeah, man, Damir is just making astronomical improvements. And anyone that's been following me on YouTube since day one, the number one thing I look for in fighters is improvements, and that's a guy who's making them. So, team fucking Damir, dude, let's get it. Consensus bet. Moving on to the next fight. This is probably the toughest fight on the card for me to call. We got Chris Fishgold. He's minus 115, and Makwan Americani is minus 105. So pick him with slight lean to Fishgold. Money's been coming out on Americani. I think Fishgold was around a minus 140, 150 favorite at one point. And yeah, I mean, I guess I get it because I mean, this is a really close pick 'em coin flip type fight. I mean, I guess it really depends on what Makwan Amir Khani we see because I feel like we see different versions of him. I feel like one fight he comes out, I mean, on point, and one fight he falls flat terribly. And I feel like that might have something to do with his mindset, mentality, because dude, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to interviews with this guy. He's just a very strange individual, makes a lot of very strange life choices. Firstly, the guy is very, very inactive. If there's a big advantage here you can give to Fishgold, it's definitely activity. I believe he has, I mean, maybe twice as many fights as Makwan within the last 4-year period. Fishgold's been out there killing it, and Cage Warriors became a world champion. Had a very, very tough debut against Calvin Kattar, who, shout out to Calvin Kattar. We have a consensus bet on that card next week. Little hot take preview, sneak preview on that one, Calvin Kattar. That's a tough fight. And then obviously against Little Teymur last time out. Dude, he got the damn job done. I went huge on Fishgold and DraftKings there. I had a bet on him as well. And it was kind of sketchy for a second because Teymur, he is a little ball of energy when he has a full gas tank, but as soon as he started to slow down a little bit, it was just a wrap from there. And I feel like it's probably going to be kind of a same situation here, man. I feel like Makwan and Fishgold, I mean, this is going to be a great fight, dude. When these guys both have a full gas tank, they are going to just go at each other badly. And I kind of feel like Chris Fishgold, he's a little bit better of an athlete. I feel like he has a little bit better wrestling, and I think he is going to be the one to land the first takedown here. And it's really, the whole fight's going to all depend on how Makwan reacts or deals with being taken down, or vice versa. How, if Makwan decides to land the first takedown, it really depends. Like if either guy gets controlled by that first takedown within like the first couple minutes of the fight, I mean, that could be the deciding factor there because both these guys have very questionable gas tanks. So I'm going to lean with Fishgold here to come out, land that first takedown, land some ground and pound on Makwan, smother him with some top control. And I feel like he's probably going to gas out a little bit himself, man. I know I heard some things about he might not be 100% for this fight, which definitely that's a huge red flag, especially for a guy that already has questionable cardio. I feel like it's going to be an ugly 3-round decision, but I'm going to go with Chris Fishgold, 29-28, unanimous decision.
Yeah, I also got Fishgold. I'm not going to be betting him though, just because it's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. Both these guys have bad gas tanks. I mean, Makwan doesn't have good cardio. Fishgold doesn't. I think Fishgold has a good chin. They both have good chins. Makwan got dropped like 4 times in Jason Knight, but he recovered well. I actually bet Jason Knight there, so I'm a little biased, but I do think that Knight won the fight. But I mean, Knight gave the fight to Makwan. Like Makwan has good wrestling. He's a big 45er. A long way off. He hasn't fought in a long time. His striking's not good, and it just hasn't got better at all. Terrible gas tank. He trains at SPG, I think, in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, not a good camp. I mean, we just saw that with Kelton needs to go into the camp anyways. But yeah, he's been tapped out before too. Fishgold's ever been tapped out. Fishgold, he's been knocked out. He's Qatar fight, but dude, he actually was having a little success against Qatar, like in the first couple of minutes. And then when he gassed, Qatar just knocked him out. Like Qatar's a beast. We'll be talking about him next week. I think he was a little thrown off. I think with Fishgold, pressuring him and basically just pressuring him and throwing some bombs. But yeah, I think Fishgold has a better striking. I think he has a good overhand right, good pressure. He's a beast in the first round. The drop to 45. I mean, he was so big at 55, and he's been the decision so many times in the past. Like, I don't know about so many times. He's been, in won 5-round fights in the past, and he looks like a completely different guy at 45. Like maybe like that whole cut, like it must be a terrible cut for him at 45. Like he looks a lot different. He could still win a decision here. Just dude, it's gonna get sloppy if it gets out of the first round. I feel like both these guys gas so bad, and they both have good chins. They both have heart. But the thing is, I think Fishgold actually has the better jiu-jitsu. I think Fishgold could actually tap out Makwan. And on the feet, I got to give the edge to Fishgold. So I'm gonna go with Fishgold. I think he wins a decision, but it's a really hard fight to call. Like it's a tough fight and it's a good fight. I'm actually really like intrigued to watching it. Like it's one of the best fights in the card. So next fight, we got a fight that a lot of people, man, talking about. We got Rakic versus Alexander Rakic versus Jimi Manuwa, and yeah. So pre-tape, I actually thought Manuwa could get it done, but then after I watched the tape, I got to go with Rakic here. But I do think Manuwa has a chance to win the fight. Rakic got dropped by Devin Clark twice. I mean, people act like didn't happen, but it happened. So. But Rakic, he showed he's a tough guy, and he went out there and knocked him out late in the first round. Rakic just has way more left in the tank. Man was on a 3-fight losing streak. He's on the decline. This could be his last fight. The damage he's been taking in his last 3 fights, like it's crazy, man. I mean, Volkan smoked him, and then in the second fight, he lost the decision. He won the second round versus Jan, but Jan hurt him multiple times, dropped him twice, and then also in his last fight. Yeah, he actually hurt Giagos Santos. Like, it's kind of crazy when you go back and watch it. Like, they were brawling. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. But the damage he took, like, dude, he got dropped like 4 times. And the way he got knocked out, like, that was scary, man. Like, it's like 39 years old, man. Like, his chin is just deteriorating, man. And Rakic is a good striker, man. He definitely, has a good right hand. Obviously, this is a big step for him, but I mean, Rakic has the grappling advantage. He's more durable. He has really good weight kicks. Jimi, definitely doesn't check weight kicks, and I think Rakic is going to hurt him on the feet. I really do. I'm not a big fan of Rakic. I don't think he's never going to be a future champ. I don't think he's ever going to be a top 5 guy. There's a lot of guys that I think that would, smoke him that are not even in the top 5. Like Johnny Walker would destroy Rakic. Our boy Lord Bader, Mikkel would smoke Rakic, but I just think Rakic is the better fighter right now. The thing is Jimmy's done, in my opinion. I really do. But Jimi has good striking. Jimi definitely has the better hands. So Rakic better not go out there and fight like an idiot because Rakic has more ways to win. He has the better grappling. He definitely can just, pick him apart from the outside. Just don't rush, please. Like, don't fight like an idiot. Like, Devin Clark dropped you twice. Like, fight smart in this fight because you could definitely pick apart Manuwa and get him out of there. But don't brawl with Manuwa because if you do, Manuwa could definitely sweep him. So I got to go with Rakic. I think he gets him out of there in the first or second round. If he takes him down, I think he definitely could kind of control him and maybe get a finish on the mat. But yeah, I think the weight coach is going to play a dividend, and I think Rakic is going to hurt him on the feet and get a TKO. So I got Rakic, but I kind of want Jimi to win, but I don't think it's going to happen. What about you?
Man, this is a really, really intriguing fight. Rakic, obviously, he's one of the most highly touted prospects in the division right now. And, I mean, yeah, he's 3-0 in the UFC. He just finished Devin Clark in the first round. He put an absolute ass whooping on Justin Ledet. I want to say that was like a 30-24 or 30-25 decision in crazy. A fight. I want to say he was a pick'em in that fight, too. And then Barroso. I actually bet Alexander Rakic against Barroso in his debut there, and I haven't bet him since. And in my opinion, he has been making improvements. Like I said, I love that in fighters. Rakic, I mean, there's a lot to like about Rakic in my opinion. Like he's in very good shape. He's a good size for the division. He doesn't have very many holes, man. I mean, I guess you could say he's a little green. Like you can tell he's not as experienced as some of these other guys, and I think experience will probably be a big advantage for Jimi Manuwa here, and it might play a role. It's just a tough one because Jimi Manuwa, he's definitely on the decline. He's really getting up there in age. He's been knocked out a few times now at this point. I mean, you look at all his losses. He's been knocked out by Gus, knocked out by Rumble, knocked out by Ozdemir, knocked out by Thiago Santos. Like, Jimmy's taking a toll, man, and Alexander Rakic can crack for sure. And Alexander Rakic, a lot of people are saying he probably does have a wrestling advantage here and could take it that route as well if he wanted to. But, man, I'm probably going to surprise a lot of people here, but I'm actually going to go with the underdog, Jimi Manuwa, to get the upset here.
Oh
I
man.
feel like he actually has some underrated takedown defense when it comes to that part of the game. We've never really seen him taken down and controlled before. Like, I mean, he's very servable in that area, and I went huge on Jimi Manuwa when he fought Corey Anderson because I felt like, Jimmy actually has some solid takedown defense. Corey probably needs to get those takedown series. Chinny as fuck, and Jimmy can crack. And Jimmy wiped him out easily, like first 2 minutes. So that was like one of my biggest. It was like a 5-unit play at like plus 100. That was a huge play for me. I'm a huge fan of Jimmy, and unfortunately, that's the last time we got to see him win. But yeah, that's because he's fighting Volkan Oezdemir, who hits like a truck. Jan Blachowicz, who absolute beast, top 5, top 6 guy. Thiago Santos, another absolute beast, top 5, top 6 guy who's fighting for the belt against Sean Jones. Alexander Rakic, on the other hand, you look at his last 3 fights. I mentioned the guys, but Bahoso, Justin Ledette, and Devin Clark. I mean, who the fuck is Rakic beat? And he's coming in here against Jimi Manuwa. Dude, if Manuwa was still in his prime, I would be all over him here. Unfortunately, I just the chin is too much of a liability, and I mean, I can admit that he's declining, and takedown defense could be one of those declining areas. Rakic could do it, but I just feel like the underdog is going to come through here, man. The much more experienced guy. So I'm going to go with Jimi Manuwa to defend some takedowns, and then he's going to start figuring them out. That's another thing. Jimi Manuwa is a very, very intelligent striker, man. When he starts to figure guys out, like OSP was putting it on Jimi Manuwa early in that fight, and then all of a sudden there was just a gigantic turn of events where Jimmy just started piecing him up bad, and then he rocked him in one of the most vicious knockouts. I'm going to go out and say this is one of my most underrated knockouts of all time is when he put away OSP, made him do the stanky leg dead on the mat. Like, dude, that's vicious. Jimi Manuwa is very underappreciated. He's a serious boxer with serious power, and we've seen Rakic rocked last fight, man. So I'm going to go ahead and say he takes his first UFC L here, man. I don't know if I'm going to bet it yet. It's just so tough betting a 40-year-old guy on the decline. So I'm going to go with Jimmy. I'm going to make him more of a DK play. So, yeah, let's go. First round knockout, Jimi Manuwa.
If he wasn't on a 3-fight losing streak, and took all the damage he has, he would win this fight. Like, if he was in his prime, but that's just the main reason why I got Rakic is that he's more durable and Jimmy's chin is not there. But Jimmy has good striking, man. So if Jimmy's chin can, hold up, he's gonna win.
Good fight, though. Good fight. May the best man win. So we on this next one now. We got the co-main
event.
All right, co-main event. We got Ilir Latifi. He's now plus 100. He's taking on Volkan Oezdemir minus 120. Once again, man, common theme. A lot of money is coming out on the Swedish fighter in Sweden, and Ilir Latifi. And this is coming from a guy who has probably backed up Ilir Latifi more than just about anybody. I think I bet Latifi in his last either 2 or 3 fights in a row, being successful in some, not very successful in others, especially the last one against Corey Anderson. But I don't agree with the line movement here, man. I got Volkan Oezdemir. I feel like Volkan Oezdemir has a lot more left in the tank at this point. Latifi's kind of, yikes. He looked good against Tyson Pedro, but we know how much of a bum Tyson Pedro now is at this point. And even the OSP fight, I was there at that fight. I bet Ilir Latifi, but he caught OSP, another guy on the decline. Volkan Oezdemir is a guy who is not on the decline by any means. We just put Volkan Oezdemir up against probably the best prospect in the division in Dominic Reyes, and they had a super, super fucking close fight. And what does everyone want to say? Oh, Dominic Reyes isn't that good. How about you stop looking at it that way and say, oh, dude, Volkan Oezdemir is for real. We just completely forgot how good this guy is just because he lost to DC and Anthony Smith. We'll talk about Anthony Smith in a second. That's a serious top 3 dude. Volkan Oezdemir is a top 5 UFC light heavyweight, man. He's got some good wins under his belt. He's improved in the holes of his game. I feel like his takedown defense has sharpened up, and obviously a striking. He's one of the hardest hitters in the division. I feel like he's cleaning up his technique there. On the feet, he's going to pick apart Latifi pretty fucking bad, man, and he's probably going to crack that chin. We've seen Latifi knocked out more than a few times. Latifi, in my opinion, has to shoot, man. He's got to make it that submission wrestling game. That's what his background's in. He's a world champ, or not a world champ, but like a Euro wrestling champion. One of those submission grappling tournaments they do out there. I mean, he is pretty high level with his wrestling and grappling. He's super strong. He's a tough guy to deal with. I just feel like Volkan at this point, he's going to have the tools to stuff it, and he's going to knock the guy out. I mean, it's tough because Latifi is he's a war horse, dude. I'm a huge fan of the guy. He can crack himself, dude. Like, I can't say I'll be completely shocked if Latifi's the one to land a big power punch and knock out Oezdemir. Oezdemir's got a good chin, but I mean, dude, it's probably lined closely for a reason. I just feel like Volkan wins this fight. He's got a lot left in the career, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the Swiss fighter to get the job done here. I just feel like he's putting in a lot of good work down there at Combat Club with those guys. So yeah, I'll go with Volkan. What do you think?
It's a good fight. You know, he definitely improved a lot versus Reyes. Like, a lot of people said that, like, Reyes sucks, but Volkan looked good out there, man. Like, he really did. And he actually took down Reyes, too. Well, he's not going to take down Latifi, but I do think Volkan won that fight. But, you know, a lot of people bet Reyes. You bet Reyes?
I did not. I thought Volkan won, too.
Yeah, I thought Volkan won. But, you know, man, this is a weird fight because I actually want to bet Volkan, and I'm thinking about it. But one reason why I'm staying off is because what he did against Lionheart, man. Like, God, he gassed so bad. But the thing is, Latifi gasses too. And Lionheart has very good cardio. He has a lot of heart. Volkan is definitely more durable. He's a better striker. He has more power. He's more technical. Latifi has good grappling. Just he doesn't use it. If he uses it, I think he could get Volkan down. But Volkan has pretty good takedown defense too, man. But, I mean, both these guys gas. And, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Latifi took him down and Volkan gets more tired and Latifi kept on taking him down. Latifi needs to shoot, like you said. Like, he has a wrestling advantage, but on the feet, like, he can crack too. But he was having a hard time trying to figure out OSP before he got that win. And, you know, Volkan's a better striker than OSP, in my opinion. And I think he's a better fighter too, obviously. I mean, he won, you know, Volkan definitely won that fight. A lot of people thought OSP won. I think Volkan won. But, yeah, man, who's Latifi beaten recently? I mean, come on. Pedro's a can, in my opinion, a can. OSP, I mean, OSP's kind of, you know, declining too. So on the feet, like I mentioned, Volkan's a better striker. If it hits the mat, Latifi's better. But I mean, they're both gonna gas out probably. And I'm impressed with Volkan's last fight. And you know, Volkan, he needs his fight. He's 3-5 losing streak. So I'm gonna go with Volkan. But the Lionheart Smith fight just kind of, you know, like tells me don't bet this fight because he was winning that fight, man. And you know, he got tired. Yeah, he broke his nose, but he gassed, man. He gassed. Why would you try to take down Lionheart? Like, you were winning that. You won the first 2 rounds. Like, he hurt Smith too. Like, I don't know. He had a game plan. Like, he should have tried to brawl with him. Like, the old Volkan, the one that went out there like crazy against Manuwa and Misha Serkinov. If that Volkan shows up, he's gonna knock out Latifi in the first round. Just don't try to fight like smart and try to like outstrike Latifi. Just rush him and, you know, get him in the clinch and knock him out. So I got Volkan with the knockout, but yeah, stay tuned to Twitter if I end up betting him. So is it the last fight?
It is, yeah. Called the main event.
So the main event, man, we got a very good fight. We got Lionheart versus Gus. So pre-tape I had Gus, and then after tape I went with Gus. But then I rewatched a little more tape, and yeah, man, I'm changing my pick, man. I'm going with Anthony Lionheart Smith with the upset. And I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I'm still debating maybe 1 or 2 unit shot. But the thing is, like, I think Gus is better wherever the fight goes. Like, he has a better striking. He's more technical. He has more tools. He has more ways to win this fight. He has better wrestling, better grappling, and like yada yada. But Gus has more heart. And I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Lionheart has more heart, and Gus is kind of a quitter. I know Gus has only lost to very good fighters, but I mean, still, I was impressed that Lionheart didn't get finished against John Jones. I mean, Lionheart, God, Gus looked so bad last fight, but then again, John Jones is the GOAT. But I mean, where is his head at, man? I mean, Gus is, you know, he's lost the title shot, or he's lost that fight 3 times now. Like, obviously, like, this could be like the Glover fight where he completely picked apart Glover and dominated that fight, but Glover didn't really have a good game plan. Just kind of like try to, I don't know. If that was, I mean, Glover just tried to take him down, got picked apart in the feet, and One thing that's really interesting to me is that, and I heard in an interview, which actually makes me more confident in Lionheart, is that Lionheart said he has no game plan in this fight. He's gonna go out there and try to brawl. Like he just did not against John Jones. He looked really like just like nervous and didn't even like try to go forward. Just kind of try to like outstrike him, kind of with Volkan until he saw Volkan was gassy and he took him down and tapped him out. But the fact that that Lionheart said he wants to make some brawl and no game plan, I think that actually favors him because if he goes out there and just pressures a guy like Gus and gets in his face, I think he could definitely hurt him and knock him out. You saw what he did to Shogun. Obviously, Shogun's on the decline, and but Gus on the decline too, man. I mean, Gus has been finished before. Like, who has the better chin here? Like, that's the thing. Like, Lionheart has been knocked out a lot in the past, but dude, Lionheart's chin is held up, man. I'm telling you right now. Like, he's only been knocked out once against Thiago Santos, and dude, Lionheart was looking good in that fight too. That was a crazy fight. They fight again at 205. I don't know what would happen, man. I really don't. I take that back. I think Lionheart actually has a better chin than Gus, along with the better cardio, and he has more heart. Gus, has good cardio, but I don't know, man. I think I think Lionheart could break him, man. Kind of what we were talking about. So it's a sketchy fight. I really do because Gus is the better fighter, but I just think the heart of Lionheart, man, and the tenacity, and the fact that he wants to go out there and brawl, I think that's actually going to benefit him, man. So yeah, man, I got to go with Lionheart with the upset. I think he's going to get Gus out of there, man. And, it's funny because a lot of people are probably going to say, okay, he's going to get the late, like the third or fourth round TKO. But you know what, man? He has a really good right hand, too. But the thing is, man, I'm going to come out on a limb and say that I think Lionheart's going to get it done in the first round. I see him going out there and getting him in the – like, I really see him just, like, pressuring him and trying to brawl, and I think he's going to clip Gus and get him out of there, man. So I got Lionheart, man, with the first round KO. Obviously, that's a huge stretch. I mean, he could get it done late, but I think he's going to get done in the first round, man. I really do. I'm not that confident. I don't know if I'm going to be betting him or anything, but the fact that it's just one of those fights. Like, Gus is better, but damn, dude, like, where's his head at? And Lionheart's, dude, just his chin, his heart is just so much better, man. So I'm going to go with Lionheart with the upset win. What about you? Oh, real quick. So besides his right hand, Lionheart has really good elbows, man. Like really good elbows. When he tries to brawl you, dude, like that's the best Lionheart. Don't sit back and try to let Gus pick you apart. Get in his face and just try to brawl, and that's how he wins this fight, in my opinion. I don't think he's gonna take down Gus or anything. Like, yeah, he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but the way he wins this fight is either he breaks Gus or he gets it done in the first round because, like I said, Gus has way more tools, good uppercut, good knees. But I just think Smith's going to get it done. I think that he has more left in the tank. I think he wants it more. And I think his chin is actually better. I really do. What about you?
Man, you really, really got me thinking about this fight again. Like, this is a great one, dude. Like, oh boy. Shout out to Shaq from Best Fight Picks. Me and him, when I went up to Atlanta, we probably discussed this fight for a little while and discussed the mentality of both guys. And the biggest thing we talked about was, dude, Lionheart's way tougher than Gus, and that's a fact, dude. Like, you've said it, man. Like, Gus has quit. Gus has thrown around the R word a lot in recent years. Especially taking a absolutely life-changing beating last time out against a guy that Anthony Smith just lost to. But, dude, Anthony Smith, like, he went out on fire, dude. Like, he didn't get embarrassed like Gus did. Like, he went out on his shield, and, yeah, he got skunked 5-0. But, dude, that's the best fighter in the world right there in John Jones. And you were talking about earlier with the chin. I definitely think Anthony Smith has a better chin, man, especially at 205, where he's cutting less weight. He's a lot more durable. And you mentioned that Thiago Santos Anthony Smith fight. Dude, I think if that fight does happen at 205, I mean, dude, I'd love to see it. I'd fucking love to see it because I think both those guys, Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos, I think they're both better at 205. I mean, you could make the argument that both of those guys at 185 were kind of glass cannons a little bit, being a little chinny, but being able to deliver their own offense so well. If that fight ever happens at 205, man, wow. I mean, I'll give them all the money to watch that one. But back to this fight, dude. Like, yeah, it's definitely tough picking against a guy where You know, the other one is probably better I mean, I don't want to say everywhere, but I do feel like Gus is a lot more technical on the feet. I do feel like he's a better wrestler. And I do feel like he's been like on the high level longer, but hey, that might be to his default. Like he's definitely on the decline now, in my opinion. Shit, dude, Gus is probably on the way out, whereas Anthony Smith is he's kind of just really getting things started in the light heavyweight division. I mean, we mentioned his win against Volkan Oezdemir earlier in the night. Like, I think people look past that win very harshly.
He broke him.
Yeah, man. I mean, people are just chalking that up to Volkan not having the best cardio and ground game, but I mean, was Dominic fucking Reyes able to do that shit? Like, was Dominic Reyes able to break him like that? One of the best prospects in the division? Nah, man. I think Anthony Smith is in the absolute prime of his career right now, and I think his mentality, mentality you mentioned earlier, where he's coming out, no game plan, he just wants to come out and swing with Gus, like, shit, dude. I think that this fight's going to be very interesting from the get-go because he probably is going to come out blazing, and he wouldn't be the first guy to kind of do that against Gustafsson. We saw Anthony Rumble Johnson do that, but I mean, we're talking about the guy with the all-time highest power like ever in Anthony Johnson. I don't know if Anthony Smith is going to be able to go out there and do that shit. And then we also saw Jan Blachowicz kind of take that route a little bit. He brought it right to Gus, and Jan Blachowicz was tagging up Gus bad. Like Jan was winning the striking exchanges against Gus. I mean, we could probably point to that fight being the very first sign of Gus's decline. And I know we saw him beat the hell out of Glover Teixeira, but Glover Teixeira is another guy in the decline, man. I mean, we're talking about a lot of guys who are kind of over the hill here, man. And I don't think Anthony Smith falls in that boat. So this really truly is technique and experience over youth. Well, I don't want to say youth because Anthony Smith has like fucking 50 fights, but a guy with a lot more left in the tank, a guy with a lot more toughness. I love that this fight's 5 rounds because I think that gives Anthony Smith a lot of chances to win because in that 4th and 5th round, and I feel like man, he's gonna be throwing a lot more. I feel like he probably will have the better gas tank, and dude's gonna be going for it, man. I feel like he wants it a lot more at this point of his career. Like, where the fuck is Gus's mindset at this point? I mean, he's got to be thinking, fuck, I am never gonna get that belt from damn John Jones or Daniel Cormier ever. And then Anthony Smith is just a guy who does not give a fuck. Gosh, man, you got me switching my pick here, but I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with Anthony Smith here to get the job done. I'm probably gonna have to redo a couple DraftKings lineups, but god damn, dude, I feel like Anthony Smith. I'm gonna go with my gut. Like, it's funny, man, because like when I first started researching this card, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go big on Jimi Manuwa and Anthony Smith as an underdog here. And then like when I researched the fights, it's like, all right, yeah, Rakic and Gus, they're just simply better. They're gonna win the fights that night. But now, just really, really thinking about it, yeah, Anthony Smith is probably gonna knock him out late. I'd say. I think his heart will prevail, and Gus will once again lose inside the octagon. So yeah, Lionheart 4th round TKO. Anything you want to add?
Nah, I think I'm gonna bet him. That I really do. Because I mean, I don't want to like pass and then he wins after I picked him, you know. And it's a weird thing because he's outmatched. Like I think that Gus is the better fighter, but the thing is, man, heart goes a long ways, man, and your chin goes a long ways, and Smith's been finished so much in the past, but dude, he's been looking a lot better, man. I mean, especially his next run. I mean, 185 looked pretty good, but he's 3-1 at 205. I mean, the Volkan win was impressive, but I mean, the fact that Jones didn't even finish him, you know, like maybe Gus goes out there and tries to take him down and wrestle him. I don't know, but I'm telling you, man, the fact that Smith said there's no game plan, that makes me more confident in Smith. He's gonna go out there and try to brawl. And that's what he needs to do. Don't give Gus any distance so he can run away like he did against Glover. That was, oh my god, like he dominated that fight, but he was like running in that fight, man. But he still picked him apart. But yeah, man, I think Lionheart gets it done, but we'll see what happens. So
one more thing, man. I feel like all the pressure is on Gustafsson, man. I mean, his back's against the wall. He just lost another title fight. This fight is in Sweden. Do you know what happened when Gus fought in Sweden against Rumble Johnson?
He got destroyed. He got destroyed.
Does not have a good track record fighting over there in his home country. So we'll see if that plays into his mindset, makes him a little more nervous.
So we'll do a recap on our plays. I have 4 units on Darko at plus 100. I have 3 units on, or 6 units on Damir. So 3 units on Damir straight, and then I'll add minus 175, and then 3 units on him parlay with Yan Zonin at plus 120. And then stay tuned to Twitter because I'm probably gonna play Lionheart or maybe Joe. We'll just stay tuned to Twitter. What are your plays?
Yeah, man, I only have 2 plays right now, but there's definitely a lot more options on the board. So definitely follow us both on Twitter at UFC BroPicks and at MMA Kelton. I got 4 units, Damir Hadzovich, and I got 3 units on Danilo Belluardo, plus 120. And then, dude, I mean, I got Darko Stosic on my radar. I got Frank Camacho on my radar if he comes back to plus money. And then I have possible 1-unit shots on Jimi, Manuwa, and Anthony Smith. So we'll see.
Let's get it. So should we say who is going to be the special guest on our podcast next week?
Yeah, dude. Is it confirmed?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay, so, yeah. You get the people excited.
You want to do it? You want me to? It's up to you.
No, tell them.
So next week on UFC 238, we got a lot of people asking us to get this guy on, and he's a good guy. He definitely knows his stuff. He's definitely one of the best, I feel like, YouTubers on. I mean, he's like the first guy that has his podcast every week. He knows a lot of knowledge. So we're gonna have Brandon K on our podcast next week, and it's either gonna be Tuesday or Wednesday. We're gonna figure it out right after this, after we go, live and. Just watch Twitter and see. But yeah, we're gonna have Brandon K come on and break down fights with us. And yeah, man, he's a good guy, so I'm excited. One more thing, we both have a bet on Calvin Qatar. And we're gonna go head to head too. I don't know if you're gonna bet him, but yeah, man, I really like Marlon Moraes in that main event versus Henry Cejudo. And there's a lot of good fights in that card. I mean, Tatiana Suarez. I mean, oh man, minus 1100. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But hey, DraftKings. Dude, she's gonna absolutely get like 160 points. So I'm excited for that card. And I've actually made a couple bets. I haven't even told you yet because I haven't even tweeted them out, but I already put them on Bet MMA for the Greenville card. I bet 3 units on Ariana Lipsky versus McCann. I think that's easy money. And I also bet Barbarina versus Randy Brown, 3 units at minus 130. I think both of them are going to get finishes. And Randy Brown, I think he's still asleep from that knockout that my boy Nico Price had, off his back with his hammer fist. So Nico Price, come on, man, give him a fight. He wants to fight. Please give him Pereira, please. Anything else you want to say?
Man, giving people the all the hot early takes, all the spoilers for the upcoming shows, huh? Well, you didn't even mention it, dude. We're both also on Yan Zaunin next week against Angela Hill. Yeah, and I made a bet for that Greenville card as well. Unfortunately, I fucked the lineup, but I put 2 units on Rob Font at plus 125. I feel like that's a good fight against Damon. I don't know why he's the underdog, but hey, I'm probably going to join you on Barbarina too, man. Maybe even Lipsky. Those are good spots. Good luck.
Let's go. Okay, so yeah, let us know in the comments below who you guys like in every fight, main event, and stay tuned to Twitter. It's either going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, and I hope everyone casts their bets. And later, guys.